most well-known luxury automobile manufacturers in the world is Ferruccio Lamborghini. But the majority of people are unaware of the fact that prior to creating supercars, he ran the largest tractor business in Italy. The fact that he was a prisoner of war before becoming a tractor tycoon is something that even fewer people are aware of. Ferruccio's engineering skills allowed him to design some of the best tractors ever made. Yet it was a disagreement with Enzo Ferrari that caused him to stray off course and embark on a massive ongoing conflict with the aim of building the best supercar in the world. We're Deluxe Living, and we're here to give you a taste of how the 1% live. Buckle up for this crazy history of Lamborghini. Don't forget to like this video, press subscribe, and hit that notification bell so we can keep you up to date with everything deluxe and more. Let's start in 1916 in a small Italian town. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born to two skilled farmers. It was difficult to grow in Italy at that time. After the war, the nation was in financial disaster, and because of food shortages, many of its people were going hungry. Ferruccio was struggling, yet he nevertheless maintained a positive attitude on life. His early years were spent helping out on his parents' vineyard. The farm had been passed down through the generations, and Ferruccio's father had hoped that one day his son would inherit it. The young Lamborghini, however, had other ideas. Much to his father's dismay, he traveled to Bologna to enroll in a technical college and decided to major in engineering. Ferruccio landed a job as a mechanic after graduating. But before long, war broke out in the entire world. Ferruccio was enlisted into the Royal Italian Air Force, but after his mechanical skills were discovered, he was dispatched to the Greek island of Rhodes to assist with maintaining the army's tractors and diesel trucks. While Ferruccio was unaware of it at that time, his prior experience working with tractors and military vehicles would prove to be very useful in the future. By signing an armistice deal in 1943, Italy effectively declared the end of their involvement in the war. German troops took control of the garrison after the Italian soldiers were forced off Rhodes. Ferruccio, however, sought to remain on the island as a citizen and establish his own mechanical workshop. Yet when the war came to an end in 1945, Germany was on the verge of defeat, and the Allied forces seized control of Rhodes Island. At first, they imprisoned everyone, including Ferruccio. Fortunately for him, the Allied forces hired him to fix their vehicles for a year after discovering Ferruccio's mechanical skills. He was given permission to leave and go back to Italy in 1946. And this is when Lamborghini's impressive history really starts. Ferruccio saw that after the war, poor farmers in Italy couldn't afford to purchase tractors. In addition, due to the post-war prohibitions, gasoline prices increased sharply, making it impossible for many farmers to afford to run their tractors. Ferruccio took the chance when the Italian government at that time decided to sell off military equipment in an effort to raise money for economic recovery. Since he had spent many years working on several of the vehicles, he was fully aware of his needs and the appropriate amount to pay. He was able to purchase an inexpensive British Moors at an auction that he then modified. The new engine designed by Ferruccio utilized a fuel atomizer. This meant that while they required petrol to start once they were running, the engine shifted to the significantly less expensive diesel fuel. This was an amazing invention and a brilliant solution to the nation's fuel issue. The first Lamborghini tractor was thus created. To further cut cost, he also used a smaller frame. His cost-cutting strategies turned out to be a highly powerful sales technique. In fact, Ferruccio wouldn't take long to establish his own factory and engage some workers to aid in hastening the manufacture of his tractors. But he needed money to fully ramp up manufacturing and compete with the larger tractor businesses. Ferruccio's father agreed to let him use the family farm as a collateral for a bank loan, and as a result, he was able to start working after purchasing 1,000 Morris engines. Ferruccio already had another plan. He was able to produce his own engine. Lamborghini tractors would no longer be dependent on altering the British engine and would instead develop their own engines in-house. And the timing turned out to be absolutely perfect. The Italian government declared that it would provide loans to Italian farmers who bought farming equipment made in Italy. Also, Ferruccio's equipment qualified because he was now producing the engines himself. which led to a sharp increase in demand for his tractors. Lamborghini tractors started to emerge as one of the largest tractor manufacturers in all of Italy as they increased output even further. And as a result, Ferruccio was suddenly among the wealthiest individuals in the country. Yet, while all of this was going on, Ferruccio found time to modify a Fiat Topolino he had for himself. Then he joined one of Italy's most prestigious races. Ferruccio was eager to pit his vehicle against some of the top brands including Maserati, Alfa Romeo, and Ferrari. Yet midway into the competition, Ferruccio's car crashed into the side of one of the restaurants in Turin, which raised a possibility of catastrophe. Ferruccio's racing career came to an end, and his life would be dramatically altered. With so much money to spend, Ferruccio purchased numerous automobiles despite the fact that his racing career was over. His most luxurious vehicle was a Ferrari 250 GT. Celebrities and the extremely wealthy longed after Ferraris because they were considered the peak of success. Ferruccio, though, wasn't a huge fan of his Ferrari. He even went so far as to say that his 250 GT was too rough and noisy to be a legitimate road vehicle. Ferruccio disliked not only the driving experience in his Ferrari but also the frequent breakdowns. After numerous clutch repairs, Ferruccio made the decision to take the vehicle to one of the mechanics who worked at his factory. When they examined the clutch, which is the source of all of these issues, they were both startled. The high-end, extremely pricey Ferrari used the same clutch as the Lamborghini tractors. After replacing the clutch with a more luxurious sports car-appropriate one, Ferruccio went to see Enzo Ferrari, the man who founded Ferrari. But this wasn't a simple task. I know you're curious about how the two big names meet. Before that, hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome videos like this. Enzo Ferrari was renowned for having a short temper and little patience. This did not discourage Ferruccio though. He believed that by suggesting a change to Ferrari's car, he was doing him a favor. Enzo, unsurprisingly, did not think the same way. He reportedly became so enraged with Ferruccio that he told him, "The clutch is not the problem. The problem is you don't know how to drive a Ferrari and you break the clutch." But he didn't stop there. Enzo is said to have concluded by stating, "Let me make cars. You stick to making tractors," which hurt Ferruccio. He had approached Enzo as a fellow mechanic and an equal, but he left feeling belittled and humiliated. On this day, Ferruccio swore to build his own vehicles that would outperform Ferraris, and they would actually be the best cars money could buy. And it was with this goal of creating the ideal car that Lamborghini's car company was established. Ferruccio twisted a knife and went one step further by stealing one of Enzo Ferrari's senior engineers with the goal of shaking up the luxury sports car company and exacting revenge on him. With the correct team in place, Ferruccio planned to make his entry into the auto industry official at the Turin Motor Show in 4 months. The new Lamborghini received a lot of attention, and following the presentation, production began. This first vehicle would be known as the Lamborghini 350 GT, and it initially sold 13 units. 120 vehicles were constructed and sold over the course of the following 2 years, giving Lamborghini a solid start in the auto industry. Although Lamborghini was prospering, a catastrophe was about to occur. The businesses owned by Ferruccio prospered during the 1960s. Ferrari and Lamborghini were two of the best vehicle brands at the time. Moreover, Lamborghini tractors continued to make some of the best tractors in the world and were sold to customers outside of Italy with great success. Yet it would face some additional difficulties as the decade turned. Ferruccio had no choice but to sell his business to a competing tractor firm as costs began to get out of hand. Yet the issues didn't end there. Sales for his car company had also started to decline. Ferruccio decided that enough was enough and sold his shares in Lamborghini. He then moved to an estate in central Italy where he spent the rest of his days. He kept himself occupied and even went back to his farming origins. Additionally, he had such a strong sense of entrepreneurial spirit that even after retiring, he established a successful wine business. So what happened to the Lamborghini company after its creator and innovator retired? The agricultural machinery company Sami Dutt Spar bought Lamborghini tractors from Ferruccio in the early 1970s. and the company continues to hold Lamborghini tractors today. On the contrary, Volkswagen acquired Lamborghini automobiles, the most well-known business of Lamborghini, along with a number of other automakers like Bentley in 1988. And the Lamborghini brand is still owned by the Volkswagen Group through its subsidiary Audi. Although Ferruccio Lamborghini didn't quite succeed in dethroning Ferrari during his lifetime, you could say that today's new money millennials generally prefer Lamborghinis as their favorite supercar. It's incredible to think that Lamborghini cars would never have started if Enzo Ferrari had simply heeded Ferruccio's advice all those years ago. Have you enjoyed your time with us? Then press the like button and subscribe for more deluxe living.